This is episode 312, and I'm going to share with you how to tell better stories in your content. We're going through Brand Archetypes 101. Welcome to the Content Queen podcast. I'm your host, Mariah, entrepreneur, storyteller, digital nomad, creator of Content Bootcamp, and founder of Content Queen with over 10 years of experience in marketing. This podcast is here to help you create the ideal content marketing strategy to help blend your stories and create that strategy. So let's get into it. Hello gang, we're back. We're not in such an aesthetic place, but we have Santi. So if you're watching the video, know that the intent was to film it in the living room with nicer aesthetics, and the action did not happen. It's okay. Okay, so last week we had Mitch come on and we talked all about how your brand is more than just a logo. And one of the things we touched on was brand archetypes. And I thought this was quite interesting because I've been playing around with using brand archetypes to tell better stories. So in our content, in our marketing, so I thought, well, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. So I've been playing around a little bit with this with my own content and how we can step into the storyteller and the creator for our brand and our business based on what our brand archetypes are. So if you've ever felt like your content's missing something, it's not quite landing, it's not connecting, the chances are that you're not telling stories that really reflect your brand and essentially who you are, especially if you're creating a personal brand, you're the founder, you're very much in it, you're doing all the things. And this is where brand archetypes come in. So basically in this episode, I really want to take you a little bit 101 brand archetypes. And then I want to talk about how you can utilize this in your content to make you a better storyteller, make you a better connector with your audience. So the brand archetypes is essentially your brand's personality. So if you think like personality traits for your brand and your business, and if you can align your stories to your brand archetype. Now, usually if you do any quiz, and I'll put the link in the show notes. So basically this is about finding what aligns to your brand personality and creating content from there, right? It's like when you realize that maybe you're doing business in a way that doesn't align to you and you do something that is and everything clicks. That is what this is about. So yes, the brand archetypes are a personality pattern used in marketing now, and it is psychology-based storytelling, all the things. And there are 12 core archetypes. Now this was founded or coined by Carl Jung, and he is a psychologist, put these together. And even if I just list them, I'm going to read them and list them for you. There might be ones where you go, oh, I feel like that's me, but it's important to take the brand archetype quiz, which is going to be linked in the show notes. So we have the lover, which is all about connection, intimacy, passion. The rebel breaks the rules and disrupts the norm. The sage speaks truth, wisdom, and teaching. The hero overcomes challenges, empowers others. The creator, driven by innovation and self-expression. The everyman, relatable, grounded, inclusive. The jester, playful, humorous, brings joy. The magician, transforms, guides, and inspires awe. The ruler, leads with confidence and structure. The caregiver, nurtures, protects, supports. The innocent, pure, optimistic, seeks simplicity. And the explorer, craves freedom, adventure, and new ideas. So do any of these resonate with you? Because when you understand, this does help with a lot of things in business, but especially when you are showing up. And they really do help you with consistency, voice, and that real soul in your content, right? That thing that people go like, oh yeah, that person's speaking to me. So it's really less about what you say, but how you say it and how you deliver it. So you might go, okay, well, I've got this core concept or this core idea that I want to share with my audience about my industry. And when you align it to your brand archetype, the telling of that story and the nurturing process of bringing people through that comes down to what you are in brand archetypes. Like if you're an everyman and you're relatable, grounded, and inclusive, you might be going, oh my God, last week I was doing this, this, and this is what happened to me. Or 10 years ago, I was feeling like this, 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 and this. Your goal is to stay grounded, to stay relatable, and to touch grass always. I'm wondering if this is giving you aha moments, because it really did for me. So I'm going to go through 3 different archetypes, and I'm going to share some examples. Obviously, we could go all day, but it would be really boring to listen to if I went through every archetype and this one you could do this and this one you could do that. But if you message me on Instagram and you tell me your brand archetype, let's explore ideas. Email me information at Content Queen Mariah. Let's explore this. So the first one is the lover, which is my archetype, and that core message being connection, passion, intimacy. For me, it is really, when I talk about something, you can tell that I'm really passionate about it. So that is what happens all the time. And for storytelling, it is really about that emotion and transformational experience, that personal transformation. So for example, instead of saying I launched a course, you would say something like, I created something for the version of me who felt XYZ. Yes, and some of your videos, you might bring people closer in or speak in a more softer tone. For me as the lover, and what this means for me is also, if you think about like unconditional love or someone being that lover, you think of someone that doesn't judge, someone that no matter what, they will always be there for you. And that is something I really truly try and bring out in my content when I share stories. Yes, I'll have like an opinion about something, but there's always a, but if this, then this. There's never a, this is exactly how you have to be, and if you're not like this, you're gonna fail. That's just not how I do things, because I'm a lover. So that is an example of using the lover archetype for your content, but more importantly for your stories, how you create this sort of more emotional and personal transformation. And then the sage, the educator, the expert. So this is really about truth, knowledge, wisdom, clarity, and this is where your storytelling is really grounded in frameworks, research, and insights. Your stories are about information and being informative, being grounded in that. So for example, let me walk you through a concept I used with a client that shifted everything. And then you take them through what you did with them, the frameworks. This is the sage I use, but I do need to step more into my brand archetype. I do find the sage to be a safe place for me, and the sage is not in my top 3. So you might find yourself leaning towards something that feels safe, but it doesn't mean it's always connecting with your audience. So if you see me doing it on social media, call me out on it. But yes, the sage, think about a brand that's like always really wise. Like if I think of personal brands, I think of like Simon Sinek being the sage, sharing, the power, start with your why, and sort of have that diagram of the why, and then you come out to find your overall purpose. That's like sage type language. And I imagine maybe his brand archetype is the sage. And then the third one that I want to talk about is the rebel. The person that's an edge pusher, they're disruptive. Like I could never be the rebel. That is just not me. Maybe a rebel in my house when I say, I don't want to do that. And Mitch will always say that I'm a rebel. You don't. He does. He always says I'm a rebel because I never want to be told what to do. But I wouldn't necessarily say that the brand of Content Queen and what I'm conveying out there is. It's just more I don't like being told what to do. So the core message of the rebel is really about breaking the rules, shaking up the norms, and being bold. This isn't for everyone. Like, as I said, I don't think I could be like this. But I know some entrepreneurs that are really, tap into the rebel. So this is about starting, like this is where the negative hooks come in. And if you don't align with negative hooks and you're wondering why you just can't do them and they don't feel authentic, it's probably because that's not for you. And you could have people online saying, start with a negative hook, start with a negative hook. And you might try it, it just doesn't work for you. So this would be where you would, start with what you're sick of seeing. Use content and truth bombs to challenge what's happening. So example, here's why I think a traditional marketing advice is BS and what I'm doing differently. Yes, or it could be, those negative hooks that you see all the time, like this doesn't work for me, or this was the worst thing that ever happened in my business. Like those kinds of negative hooks that do come up, I feel like the rebel would really step into that. And I'm sure we all know a rebel on social media. I think of a few. I'm not going to name them because we don't, some people might be like, well, I'm not. But there are people that, and we need people like that, right? We need everyone from every brand archetype because that's how we get really grounded support, and that's why we resonate with certain brands. Maybe the clients that I'm working with, they don't want the rebel. They don't want the sage. They want the lover. They want to feel supported and like they are loved no matter what they do. So I urge you, if you haven't already, to know your brand archetype. The link is in the show notes. And as I said, come over and tell me on Instagram or email me what one you got. And you might, as I said, you might already feel pulled to one that I've mentioned above. What type of archetype? I will do a blog on this, so stay tuned. We'll get that up and running at some stage. If it's not there, it will be at some point. And really, this is where the magic happens. It's not from copying the 10 most popular hooks of social media videos. It's not from copying storytelling formulas, which help for sure. Definitely help in like getting the structure of it. But finding what your brand archetype is and sharing from that place, sharing your stories, your knowledge, your power, your wisdom, all those things from understanding your brand archetype, I think will make a massive difference in how you show up. So that is what I wanted to share with you today. I think it's just been a big aha moment for me, and I'm still exploring it. And I'm still going through that journey. And that's cool too, because I'm learning as I'm evolving my own storytelling and my own way of showing up in marketing. But if you are just feeling like it's not resonating, things aren't going anywhere with what I'm putting out there, storytelling, of course, is your number one, but connecting it from a lens of your brand archetype. But be a content queen or king, and remember that developing your strategy and story, which is both understanding your brand archetype and learning how to tell stories from that archetype, develops your business. Thank you so much for joining me today, and please don't forget to share this with all your business and entrepreneurial friends. You can do this by adding it to your Instagram stories, tag me at Content Queen Mariah, or just send them the link, a little cheeky click the link, share it to them, text it to them, WhatsApp it to them. And if you do love episodes like this, leave a rating and review. It helps me know what you like, what you don't like, and also gets amazing guests, because the more we get the reviews, the more people find me in the charts and come on to be guests. So we've got amazing episodes coming up about mindset and marketing, which I'm really excited about. So stay tuned and follow me on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, all the places if you're not already. And I'll see you next week. Bye.